By now, I'm sure a lot of you have leveled a couple of units to 100, and you've seen just how many XP pots this can take. If you don't hit a super or an ultra success, you're probably looking at anywhere from 80 to 90 XP pots, and for most people that's going to put a pretty big hole in your reserves. So this half stamina, we could consider farming the enhancement dungeons over gold dungeon or doing a combination of both. So we're going to look at a couple adjustments that we can make to improve our leveling experience. Now the first thing that we're going to want to do is come on over to Hawk. We're going to make some tavern adjustments. The first thing that we're going to look at is the flooring. Now the floors are going to adjust the hero enhanced potion XP. The nobleman floor will give us a 7% increase. Now if you don't have nobleman, Seaside gives us a 6% increase. These were both event floors. If you missed either event, you could consider buying the 10 gem one for a 5% increase. And then there is also the 30 gem one for a 7% increase on super success rates, which I believe probably isn't the best just because a super success rate won't always happen, but using a enhanced potion obviously will. Now the next one that we can look at is the door. The nobleman door can give us a 14% increase on the reward gauge, which means we are going to hit that 5-star XP pot a lot sooner, and we will be farming a little more effectively. Now without that one, the only other one for the enhancement dungeon again is the SR 10 gem one. It is a 10% increase. Now after you have adjusted your tavern, just like the gold dungeon, you are going to make sure that the quests for the Fort Solrus dungeon are complete so that these do not get in the way of your farming. You will get that pop-up in between every stage, and that is obviously going to slow down each run by a couple of seconds. Next, we need to decide which dungeon we actually want to farm. You have 3 options: green, red, and blue. No matter what you pick, they are going to have the exact same color mobs corresponding to the color of the dungeon. So the red dungeon will have all red mobs, the green dungeon will have all green mobs, and the blue dungeon will have all blue mobs. Now you'll also notice that the stage rewards are the exact same amongst all 3. You have a 10% chance for a gold box, 30 for a silver, and 60 for a bronze. And it is always the same drops within each box. So the only deciding factor on which dungeon you're going to pick is going to be based off of your team. So for example, I would want to take my gold farming team into the blue dungeon because both Arthur and Shin are going to be type advantage, while King is going to be type neutral. You want to try your best to stay away from type disadvantage. Now obviously, since this is going to be PvE farming, everyone should be on some type of attack crit set. Arthur right now is on attack defense because I would have to make another top row piece, which I don't feel like doing yet. But if you don't even have UR gear at all for a certain unit, you only really need to do the top row since this is the attack row. This is what actually matters. And then if you can afford it, try to get their weapons because more damage means faster clears. In terms of the actual team building, starting with the backline, this is almost always going to either be Death Pierce because he reduces crit defense and crit resistance, or you can use Ragnarok Bond because he increases our attack related. Now for the frontline units, as usual, King is going to be the #1 superstar of PvE farming. 2 very powerful AoEs combined with Red Sariel. He cleaves very easily. Now I like to use Arthur and Shin as you've seen in other videos. With Arthur Relic, he is going to apply a debuff. Minus 20% in defense stats. Shin is always going to weak point attack because of that. And then Arthur passive increases damage up by 35%. It's a pretty good combo. If you don't have any of these units, you want to keep in mind to pick a unit that has a good AoE. 2 AoEs are kind of uncommon. So as long as someone has 1 single good AoE, it can be a pretty good option. Kyo is very good because of his relic / passive, igniting everybody. It'll make things die quicker. And you want to stay away from double single target attacks. So T1 wouldn't be very good. Sariel as his own would probably be good. The new mono probably wouldn't be too bad. Gother does boost attack related stats, so he might not be a bad option either to have in the front. Obviously his pumpkin bombs is kind of a dead card, and so is the rank up. But whatever you do pick, try to at least make sure they do have a good AoE. Now for artifacts, this is going to be, again, the Trio of Troublemakers is a very good farming sense since it is just a 5% flat damage increase. And then if you don't have this set, I would just sort by attack descending and auto whatever the best ones are there. And just like for gold farming, you don't really need food. If you wanted to put gold food on an auto for a very long time, you could do that. That's totally fine. But we are going to run it one time just to make sure that this can 3-turn and see what that looks like. Alright, so it looks like we start off with one wave of 2 mobs, followed by another wave of 2 mobs, and then the last wave with Ludo is probably 3. So, just like standard, that you see Arthur Relic drop, Shin does his weak point. Now, it would probably be ideal to have Shin level 100 here. He definitely would have one-shot both mobs. So, if you are able to one-shot the wave with 1 card, then you are going to obviously have faster runs. Less cards means less animations, less time. All very good stuff in general. We got a merge on a single target, which kind of sucks. Arthur spamming single targets isn't ideal. But even with just 1 card on the second wave, that did a full one-shot. And we have a bunch of AoEs, so this should have no problem clearing the last wave. I imagine it probably has the same difficulty as the gold dungeon. So if you can't do the last one, farm the lower tier ones, whichever one you can do best. But that is going to be it for this. If you guys liked it, drop a thumbie, maybe a sub if you're into that, and I'll see you in the next one.